Hello, everybody. I'm FTA.
I'm Jono.
I'm T-Bay.
I'm the Anti-Guardian.
And welcome to what is likely to be the last issue of Sonic Says, where we directly review new and original Archie content.
Newish.
So what we're going to do today, as we mentioned in the last episode, we are going to be reviewing the fantastic Sonic Mega Drive The Next Level Issue 1. Not just Sonic Mega Drive Issue 2. No, Next Level Issue 1.
You'll never let that die.
I won't.
The book is dead, but you will never let it die.
And then after we're done reviewing this, we're going to be talking about our thoughts on the franchise as a whole. So I think we'll just get right into it. Sonic Mega Drive Act 2, The Next Level. Written by Ian Flynn. Line art by Tyson Hess. Colors by the Conqueror of Colors, Matt Herms. Letters by Jack Morelli. And the cover by Tyson Hess. Jonathan, take it away.
We pick up our story, which is a continuation from Mega Drive number 1. Very confusing.
No, this is...
when I learned counting in school, I guess I forgot, it was 1, then 1, then 1.
The Archie social media have told us on multiple occasions this is an entirely new story. So it needed to be a number 1 for story reasons, and not just for the fact that slapping number 1 is a cheap way to enhance profits. This was entirely a stylistic choice and not a cheap marketing gimmick. Back to you, Jonathan.
It's like we're living in the 90s.
What is Wolverine on the cover for?
Number 1!
Whoa, is this a hologram?
What? We've come up with a new superhero. He's gonna sell a bajillion comics. It's called One Man.
This is our new take on Sonic. It's Blood
Man.
Sonic. He's covered in blood, and he's Sonic,
Yes,
and that's it.
Giant pecs.
Giant pecs that look...
Save that for Forces, will you?
Save that for... That's what I'm gonna... My character is Blood Sonic. He's drenched in blood and has huge pecs.
I don't think you can have a hedgehog in that, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, what?
It forces.
Yeah, one of the options is a hedgehog.
Yeah, you can have a
Blood
head.
Sonic lives. Hashtag Blood Sonic lives. Drawn by Rob Liefeld.
Liefeld did nothing wrong.
He wears button
Blood
jeans.
Sonic.
Hashtag Blood Sonic.
You have to say that with more, like you're proud of it.
Hashtag Blood Sonic.
There it is.
Extreme.
Extreme Blood Sonic. That's his Super Saiyan form.
And the only difference is he gets a leather jacket and sunglasses.
And turns green.
Green.
Glitter Peak Zone.
So we open with our heroes, Sonic, Knuckles, Amy, and Tails, being chased by a giant Orbinaut with snowflakes instead of spike balls.
I like that.
I do. It's a cute little trick play on the classic Badnik.
Badniks.
Yeah. So Sonic starts
You
to
went undercover Russian. You're not telling us.
Badnik. We did not interfere in your Hedgehog comics. You fools. If it were up to Putin,
Okay,
you would
stop
have
Let him finish.
you would get to issue 300. So Sonic starts to try and mock this snowflake Orbinaut, and he's kind of cut off mid-spin when Knuckles, Amy, and Tails start to attack. One of them actually, it appears, throws one of the giant snowflakes through the Orbinaut and bisects his orb body.
It looks like it was Amy because like her silhouette's all dark. Like she just did something awful.
Dark Amy returned.
It's my favorite Batman movie.
I hear you're a fan of Dark Amy.
Dark Amy fan right here. So Sonic looks a little surprised, maybe a little unhappy about this turn of events, that the Badnik was beaten so easily without him. Knuckles punches him in the shoulder and is like, "Ha! Of course you could have done it, but I did it better."
You were here first, but I was here better.
Knuckles isn't really letting it go, so Sonic teases him by saying, "Relax, guys. It's just a fact. Knuckles is the best doofus we've got." Knuckles, not getting the joke, is like, "Yeah, nobody's a better doofus than..."
Wait a minute.
Something was said.
What was it? You still here? Get out of here! In the following the tradition of the last issue, the last number 1, we get a nice horizontal view, view of the level where Sonic is hopping over one of the turtle badniks, and we get to see the zone like we would if we were playing the game.
I love that turtle. He's just like...
I'm trying to go fast, but not too fast, because that's dangerous.
That would be extremely dangerous.
I pose no threat to the hedgehog.
So we come to our boss, which appears to be a giant snowman whose head is Eggman's Eggomatic, and he comes up with the line, "Do you want to fight a snowman?"
I never noticed
You never
that.
noticed that? So he references Frozen, which is great. It's
But
great,
technically,
you know.
if this is true to the canon of the timeline, this would take place years before Frozen came out.
Technically, Frozen wouldn't exist in this universe, I don't think,
They could
because
be
I don't
Disney.
think
They could be
Disney
Disney.
exists.
It could be a small
Technically,
business.
the pre-reboot, it was like, Sonic's world came after the
Yeah.
apocalypse of our world, the end of our world.
But this is.
But
not
then
that.
at that point, I think that Disney would have been dead for a long time. I mean, deader than his head being frozen.
Currently is now.
technically, yeah.
But anyway...
So Sonic's like, "Oh yeah, this robot's pretty snowballer, huh?" Well, Tails is observing it and is like, "Hey guys, attack the bottom snowball," which they all do, and the Badnik goes down without any of Sonic's help. Sonic picks up the mystical gear and looks a little disappointed at it, like he's a little left out of things. We move on to our next zone, the Haunted Depths zone.
Which TJ, what is your fan name for this place?
Then when I first saw art of this, I was like, ooh, that must be Spooky Crevasse Zone.
Get it?
Copyright.
It's a crevasse. That's spooky. I'll take my check now, please, Sega.
Never write us again.
So Knuckles and Amy are having a conversation. Amy is a little concerned. It looks spooky, and Knuckles is like, "I'm not afraid of no ghosts. I just punch them in the face."
I'm just saying. Amy says it's spooky. Spooky Crevasse.
Yeah.
And Knuckles is just like, if ghosts get leery, just whack him in the face.
It's a good thing. Knuckles says, "Hey, this thing's a little maze-like, though. I'm a little concerned." Sonic takes that as his cue to be like, "Hey, you're right, Knuckles. We should all split up," and then dashes off into the distance, leaving our 3 other heroes puzzled, confused, and, most importantly, behind in the dust.
Good.
Sonic
Where they
on-
belong.
Sonic on his own manages to make his way throughout across the zone chipperly. We see some Black Cat bad
I love that. That was a cool.
That's brilliant.
I think the
I
best
love
thing
the spikes when they
Yeah.
get
when they hiss, they
yeah,
make the spikes.
That's cool. That's really cool. That's a nice design.
There's an Angry Bird Pig bat as well. This looks like a really fun zone to play. I mean, it looks really pretty. There's some good platforms.
It looks like a mixed. From the design, it kind of looks like a mixture of Pumpkin Hill and Mystic Cave.
Yeah.
And I like
I
that.
would enjoy playing this.
Don't belittle Spooky Crevasse like that.
Spooky. Get it? Like a ghost.
Get it? Spooky.
So, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy are freaking out.
Well, you missed the bit where Sonic says, he says, "Besides, the 3 of those can handle themselves. jump cut.
...
Jump cut to a giant kind of dragon thing breathing fire with Knuckles, Amy, and Tails waving their arms and running around like headless chickens screaming. This is great. I love this. I would love it if this was animated. That would be such a funny jump cut, you know.
I like the little reference. So the dragon sprays out fire, but he also has a light bulb tail that is electrified. So when it flashes, it electrocutes you. Similar to flashers. I like that little nod backwards. Knuckles, of course, not familiar with Sonic 2, punches the tail and gets electrocuted.
He says, Tails, you're the one who can fly, you do something!
Yeah.
And Tails goes up and just gets burnt in the face.
Tails, of course, says, "Hey, Knuckles, I was in Mystic Caves."
You can't hit it when it's charged up.
For
Knuckles literally has a line of dialogue which is just FRLBGRP.
That's my new That's my new Twitter handle.
Hey, Tails, quit all the downloading. Knuckles, what are you saying?
Knuckles just starts speaking Lila Aryan.
Pork chop sandwiches.
Rib roast.
I do like that how they essentially beat the guy is Amy whacks the tail into the dragon's mouth and makes it explode. I wish you could do that in the games, but you can't. So this is garbage. So
It's got so many. So what's garbage? The games or this book?
everything, my whole life is
This
garbage.
podcast is over with.
I'm tearing. You can't see me, but I'm tearing every single issue I have in half. I'm burning my house.
He's putting his house. He's getting divorced for destroying his car, quitting his job. You can't hit the thing like you can in the book in the games. My life is a lie.
Life is a lie. There is no existence. Anyway. So,
It's not their joke.
Knuckles, Amy, and Tails feel a tremor. Knuckles notes, "This doesn't feel natural."
I love that moment. I love that moment because it's
Yeah.
like, it's it's Knuckles being kind of he kind of knows like the way of the land, what like, natural
Well,
things.
he's got a connection to the environment that I feel is maybe unique to a homeless guardian.
Which it's a nice small moment, which kind of because a lot of times in Mega Drive, Knuckles is kind of played for as the gullible chump, in a way, which makes sense due to the time when this came out, though due to the time when this is placing in, kind of makes sense. But small moments like that where they kind of give him kind of a slighter, more depth to his character.
Yeah,
kind of
Yeah.
I like it.
Unlike Boom.
we do cut to
So I heard you're a fan of Boom Knuckles.
Sonic running away from a drill.
Imagine the Emerald Hill Zone boss with 2 drills.
Yeah,
That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, but there's 2 now!
I like that how
But there's 1 hedgehog. There's 2 drills. I'll take it.
Okay, imagine Emerald Hill. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. But there's 2 drills this time.
You've lost me. Slow down.
Hold on. But he's actually using them for their intended purpose.
I don't get it. Go back.
I do really like this boss. It actually kind of looks like the drills are attached to arms, like it's a giant. It's a giant.
It's just a giant human.
No, it's a giant
Panda bear?
grounder. Like it's like he's got grounder arms. I mean, we don't see him like use them like arms, but
Let me get that hedgehog this time.
quiet you. I mean, I like to imagine that it's Grounder, but he removed the body and put the Eggmobile, and then Grounder's just like a Futurama
Every
head.
moment I live is agony.
I'm honored to talk to robotics using my body.
I love that how he defeats it is he jumps up on a harder rock, and then the boss crams. Just drives right into it and breaks.
Can't do that in the games either.
Yeah, and I like the switch up of gameplay. I wish that there was a boss like this where
This design feels like a CD boss.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, like I always think back to the Quartz Quadrant boss. It's dumb and stupid, but I love it. I always feel like this could be kind of a CD style way to defeat a boss.
I mean, I like the idea of you're running through the zone, and then you're trying to get Eggman to run into hard rocks to cause some damage. Like, I like that idea. I wish that something like that was incorporated.
Oh, phooey.
Oh, So, Sonic, very proud of himself, shouts out to everyone else, "That was hilarious! Did you guys see that?" Of course, no one sees that because he's alone.
Oh yeah, I'm alone.
Yeah. He's like, well, it's what I wanted, right? Besides, I'm sure they'll catch up soon.
And it cuts,
Sonic is the loneliest hedgehog that
that
you
there
ever
was.
seen.
and then there's a hard jump cut to Knuckles, Tails, and Amy in their grave.
Yeah, the end.
Dude, could be bad at one.
So, Knuckles says, the tremor stopped. I hope Sonic wasn't hurt. Amy, worried, is like, what? Hurt or worse or captured? Tails is like, come on, guys, it's Sonic. Shut up. Let's keep moving.
Shut your faces, we got things to do.
Sacrilege.
Stop talking.
He just screams it like Rigby. Stop talking!
We arrive at Eruption Ruin Zone, which is kind of a take on, I would say,
It's like I guess more like Volcano Valley,
well, I was gonna say it's like
Red Mountain.
not like an actual historical place.
Pompeii.
Pompeii. It's like Pompeii. Like he traveled back in time while Pompeii was getting destroyed.
Yeah, well, this almost looks like if Volcano Valley and Rusty Ruin were combined.
Yeah.
So you have an active volcano with like old ruins.
That being said, I like it. It's cool. Sonic comes to the realization that he cannot proceed without his friends.
Can't
He
do it on his own.
jump. He can't jump high enough or far enough. He can't cross this lava.
He needs to go to the guy who taught Samurai Jack how to jump.
Yeah. He should just have his own Samurai Jack
It was
journey.
a bunch of. It wasn't one guy, but it was a bunch of monkeys.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't find those monkeys and jump higher than them, they.
Hey, monkeys, look at me. I can jump just as well as you.
Just love that. You can fly.
So he's like, man, I wish everyone was here. But surprise, surprise, they caught up. So Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, there's a happy little reunion. And they're like, hey, we're going to go team up and we're going to do this.
Wait a minute. The tornado's only a two-seater. How did they get on there?
Wings.
So first of all,
Knuckles can't do that. He's not good enough.
you know what? Knuckles could have just glided next to it.
He can't go.
Amy could have done.
He clips his Lego shoes to the bottom.
Like Tom Hanks in Mission Impossible 6 hanging onto the... Oh dear God!
Yeah, sure.
Does it mean he hanging onto a plane? He did it in real life. He was
Yeah,
saying...
because I managed to watch anything that was the 6th entry in a series.
I didn't see it, but that was all over the YouTubes. That clip.
You telling me that you watch pirated material on the YouTubes?
Yeah!
Hello, police.
I'd like one pepperoni pizza, please.
So,
callbacks. That's all we do. So
Amy hits Sonic high, and then Tails.
Set up they're working together to get up.
I already said that.
You already
didn't I?
said that.
I didn't see that. I just...
Before you went on your
You were
Tom
too
Hanks
busy
rant,
ordering pizzas.
Tom Cruise, not Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks would never hang onto a plane. That's crazy.
You said Hanks.
Oh, Tom Shanks.
Oh, shit. This is Tom
Thank
Hanks.
the Hanks, okay?
This is Tom Hanks saying, if you sleep out in public, please leave me be.
So to get up there, Amy hits Sonic with her hammer.
Hits.
Knuckles then hits him again.
Knuckles hiss.
And
Tails
Tails catches Sonic. He lands, and Tails is going to bring everyone else up.
And then Tails goes to get some pencils.
Pencils. It's
But
all
there are
out
no
of
more
pencils.
Pencils
There's
left
no more
again.
hits left to hit. Knuckles the Echidna is down to his last hit.
So Sonic is
Give
running.
me,
Tails is carrying
hold the
Amy.
phone for a minute, okay?
Okay.
For those of you at home, Gareth just picked up his phone and put it to his head. Anywho, if Tails can just carry Knuckles and Amy up, why didn't Tails just carry all of them up?
No.
Why did they have to hit Sonic?
No, Tails is going to carry Amy to Knuckles. Knuckles can climb. I think the thing is, Tails is going to carry Amy to Knuckles, and then Knuckles will carry her and him up there. Although you could make the argument of why didn't Knuckles just carry Amy from the start and Tails carry Sonic from the start, but then you wouldn't use all four of them. You have to use all four.
Power of teamwork.
Otherwise,
It's a real superpower of
otherwise the metaphor of Sonic being, I'm glad all my friends are here. Rather than, I just need Tails for this. Bye.
So metaphors are stronger than actual logic.
Yes, Taserface.
Call me Taserface.
It's metaphorical.
It's metaphorical. I love this. I love this little scene where Tails is carrying Amy. Sonic is jumping on the these little tiki heads, but Knuckles is digging. He's freaking digging. I love that. That's my favorite thing. This is why this is
Can't
the
do it
best
in the
book.
game though.
He can do it in an adventure.
No, he kind of digs for like 2 seconds. I
This is
can't.
better.
I can't. I can't.
This is, I like the idea of Knuckles gaming. I mean,
Well, he can do that
Yeah.
in Shattered Crystal and Frown Ice. He literally digs in there.
see,
There you go, Bobby.
Yep.
Good Knuckles is the best.
Still not as good.
So so Mega Drive Knuckles is best because he's digging. Tails is feeling pretty hot. He's very proud of the way he looks. No, he's very very hot. He's sweating. Sonic's like, "Hey, I could run faster. That'll create a breeze." And he's like, "Oh, you would be a jerk." Amy triggers a trap, and they're like, "Huh. We gotta figure a way out of this." So a spike wall is coming towards them, but also this big face is puking lava out, and it's raising to the ceiling. Everyone then pummels the face to reveal Eggman. In my defense, lava is immediately more hazardous than that. Eggman runs away, saying, "Wait, I'm not ready!" He's like, "I don't really care." And he jumps straight into the lava.
That is the moment when Sonic's like, "Whoa, don't!
I know I beat up you, and I broke all
I
your
wanted to
toys."
kill you!"
I'm my very hands. This is where I become Blood Sonic.
The blood is actually Eggman's blood.
Blood Sonic cracks the Eggman. Next
imagine-
issue.
Just imagine like Jonathan going home in crayon. It's just like, okay, so then in Lava Ruin Zone, the origin of Blood Sonic.
So I do have some fan art and some like stuff, not bloody stuff, but I do
It
have
should
like
be.
a
Should be
fan
bloody
comic,
and sexual.
so,
It's the best kind of fan
from
art.
when I was like 8, made out of crowns.
Then Blood Tails.
Tails. It's not Blood Tails, it's Puke Tails. Get them straight.
Plasma Knuckles.
Plasma Knuckles.
That's my favorite Kirby power up.
Bone Marrow Amy. Jeez. Jeez.
I like it.
Like that's worse than Blood Sonic.
So, Eggman pops out of the lava in a egg mech that looks like a burger chef with 2 spatulas.
This
It's
is like
beautiful.
this is the Burger Time Sonic crossover.
Wait, is Tails like fanning himself with his
Yes,
tail?
Yes,
his
his own
tail.
tail.
Because Amy and Tails are a little too overheated to perform at this juncture.
But it's
So-
fine. It happens to a lot of people. It's fine.
Not to Blood Sonic. So it's time for Knuckles and
The only
Sonic
thing that would make
to
that
take
greater
action.
is if you said that Blood Sonic was just Sonic but stole Knuckles' gloves so that he had Knucks.
So Knuckles died, and so he took the gloves in vengeance for Knuckles.
And broke off the knuckles because those gloves don't have the knuckles. The knuckles are part of his body.
Yeah, no, I get that. But 5-year-old Jonathan doesn't know
That,
that when
yeah.
he was writing Blood Sonic and Origin.
And then he became a team member of Youngblood. and other X-Men knockoff characters. So Knuckles and Sonic use teamwork to beat up the Egg Mech, grab the mystical gear as a blue blur speeds past. I mean, we see Sonic in the foreground, so we've got to assume it's someone else. Turns out, it is Metal Sonic.
As he just breaks every bone in Tails'
He
face.
just like jabs him in the chest.
You forget, Tails, Metal Sonic's arms are fingers are spiky. He just murdered Tails. He just put 5 holes in Tails' face.
Stabbed him
Blood
to
Sonic
death.
begins.
Oh, it's Tails' blood.
Tails' blood.
Oh.
It's a new design. Metal Sonic's body is now run by blood. The blood of his fallen enemies.
Blood Metal Sonic.
That's why he has to fight.
That's why his eyes are red, because they're powered by blood.
He has to fight Blood Sonic for energy.
There's a great little...
Cancel this series, just make Blood Sonic.
Oh, God.
Red streak speeds by Blood Sonic.
They put the book on the shelves and it's like rated X, not for anyone.
No, that's rated Z. Rated X is for something else.
Not appropriate for anyone.
So, there's a nice little tiny 2-panel interaction where Amy is like, Tails, are you okay? Apparently Metal Sonic overhears and turns his head real creepily.
Metal Sonic's a fan of classic Amy, I'm just saying.
Who isn't? Who isn't?
He wants to collect her, so he steals her and flies off. Sonic, concerned for Tails, comes over and asks if he's okay. Knuckles, whoa, he is angry. He's shaking his fist in the sky. He's like, we gotta go now, what are we gonna do?
You should say, Metal Sonic takes all of the gears except for one.
Yeah.
Sonic still has one left over.
Sonic is going to be the voice of reason, be like, hey, chill out, we need a plan. So they all head back to the tornado and devise that, hey, Tails says, hey, so Eggman, the Eggmobile, and Metal Sonic can't fly for very far, so he has to have a base nearby. Tails figures out that there is a underwater base nearby, or that Tails is like, oh, there's a flying fortress that we can fly up to and catch them. So, this flying fortress is actually shaped like an egg carton, which is probably the best...
Dude, I had never noticed that. That's
You
genius.
haven't?
No, it's great.
First it was the shadow, now it's the egg carton.
You didn't notice that other thing.
I didn't notice this either, so
Yeah.
I was in your boat.
Yeah,
Shut up.
But doesn't mean I can't sink it.
Shut up, frozen boy.
So this egg ship is shaped like an egg carton. Mwah!
I love Sonic's line of, not as slick as Tubing Fortress, but bigger than Flying Battery. I'll give it 6 out of 10.
Yeah, would not play again.
It's no death pick, that's for sure.
I like how Knuckles has like a hair and beard made out of clouds.
They've been flying for so long that Knuckles is now old.
Yes. I mean, he was old to begin with.
I heard you're a fan of Old Knuckles.
Uh,
The Adventures of Old
Knuckles
Knuckles
and
and
Blood
Blood Sonic.
so,
We have to write this. This has to be a thing now.
Knuckles and it's like Old Man Logan.
Old Man Knuckles and Blood Sonic.
So Knuckles and Sonic beat up Badniks to clear way for Tails to land the tornado on the egg carton.
Is that his name?
It is now.
You heard it here first, Ian Flynn. Egg Carton.
Yeah, it's true. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles run into a hangar on top of the egg carton where they find Metal Sonic, Eggman on a TV monitor, and Amy encapsulated. So, Eggman's like, I promise I'll let Amy go if you give me the last Mystic Gear. And Knuckles was like, wait, I thought there were 7. And then Tails is like, Sonic, Metal only took 5 ancient gears from me. Sonic's like, I know, we get Amy and play Eggman for a chump. Heh heh heh.
Radical 90s dialogue.
So I love this face on Sonic. He says, "Here you go, Gruesome," with this sneer, and puts
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
It's
he
great.
puts it in the, and then you can see how annoyed Metal is on his face. He's just kind of glowering, and like he holds the Mystic Gear with his finger and his thumb and places it down. It's pretty funny. But then some electricity flows from Metal Sonic, and he starts up, and then he's like, "Oh no, Metal Sonic's got the 7th gear."
Where the Eggman goes, thank you, Sonic. I, Eggman, release a Hemi Rose. Your other janitor has some unfinished business.
Yes.
And that's when they're like, over here, rematch!
Woo!
On a Sunday, riding my bike, I
notice many
things of Blood Sonic.
Like, Blood Sonic! He rides no bicycles.
Or autumn this year or last year.
Doesn't drink coffee.
A, B, C, D.
Blood Sonic.
Old Knuckles, Blood Sonic, Ghost Tails.
Ghost Tails. Goat's Tails.
Game of the Year, Tails.
Goats flying.
Oh, God.
So we get a little match of Sonic and Metal Sonic. It looks like Metal is about to pummel down on Sonic, but Knuckles luckily punches Metal in the face and sends him flying
In one of my
towards Tails.
favorite panels ever, the panel of Knuckles punching Metal in the face.
Yeah.
I love Knuckles' expression. Knuckles just looks angry as hell. I love it. Tyson has such a good job in the expressions in this. And apparently this little moment where, I think Ian noticed, this was one change Tyson did to his original script.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently in the script, Ian had written that Tails just trips Metal Sonic, but Tyson changes it where Tails smacks him down with his tail. I like that. It's more.
Oh, that's a lot better.
I like
yeah.
it. I think it's more than it makes Tails feel like he's more active in this fight, rather than just like sticking his foot out or something and tripping him over. I like that. It's a very
Well,
nice
and I
touch.
mean he's used his tails as a weapon before, so it gives him a little more purpose for his.
I wish they'd bring that back. Like I love it in SA1 when he uses the.
I mean, he could have just thrown some rings at him. So Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles bust down on Metal, who we see an internal cutaway where the Mystic Gear is currently disconnected because of all the damage he took. Metal, mad, breaks through the roof and flies off. Sonic then catches Amy and is like, "Hey Amy, you alright?" Amy says, "If I say I am, you'll put me down." So Sonic automatically drops her. Once again, Knuckles is like, "We have to freaking go after Eggman right now. We don't know where he is. We gotta do stuff." And then Sonic's like, "Hey, Chuckles, for once I think we need a plan first." So they start talking. Tails is like, "Yeah, there's a
Well, it says this that Sonic's like, Metal almost defeated us with just one gear.
yeah."
So if he has all of them, we're screwed. And then Tails is like, Chaos Emeralds. It's what we do anyway. Chaos Emeralds, anyone? Chaos Emeralds? So I was like,
Chaos
it's a good idea.
Emeralds.
let's go get Chaos Emeralds so I can turn super. In a story that we'll never get to read.
Yep.
So, and that is Sonic Mega Drive: The Next Level Issue 1. I know last episode I talked about how the CD adaptation was one of my favorite issues they've ever done.
Yeah.
This honestly, if I had to rank issues, this would probably be, I think, the best single issue Archie has ever released.
You said that so lost all breeding.
No, I've said it's up there. This is the
I'm
first
just
time I've
kidding.
said this is. I honestly think this is. I think this would also be a lot of people's
Yeah.
best issue. It's a single issue they've ever released.
I mean, I'd say Mega Drive is one of the best things they've put out. So
They've ever done. Yeah.
like all across the board. Tyson Hess's art.
So good, man. so
Matt
good.
Herms on coloring. He's doing some of the best coloring in these issues.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that Tyson Hesse just does his own line work. There
Yeah,
is no
he
ink.
does.
Apparently,
he's
from what Jonathan said, apparently this was the first time he'd done his own inks.
Oh,
yeah, and I would say that he this is digitally drawn.
yeah.
I would say so. I do not think there are physical pencils of this.
Right.
That is my guess. I mean, he's a young guy. That's probably what he's doing. Also, I've seen pictures of his setup at home or his studio at home, and it's a computer with a sketch pad. So I'd say good chance that this is all
Which means we
digital.
can't buy pages.
That's the biggest disappointment of this is that
Although the thing about this though is that with certain issues of certain books, you just like there'd be a page you'd be like, I don't know if I'd want to get that. Next level, like every single page would be something I would be happy to pay money for.
a lot of money.
You know, 'cause
All the money.
every page has something amazing on
Do you
it.
think that's? I mean, maybe with this, since everything was inclusive, all the line art, or the pencils and the inks, pencils. Because I have a Tyson Hesse page.
Yeah, with inks done by Jim Amash.
Yeah.
See-
again, this is the first time he did it by himself.
Yeah, so since it's done by himself, I think it was all done digitally. That's what I think.
Yeah, because I know Matt Holmes colors digitally. He would just
Yeah.
he would just like scan it.
He would just send the
So this would probably quicker for everyone. He could I assume could just send Matt Holmes the digital files instantly, and then when Matt is done, he can send it over to Jack Maroney to do the lettering. 'Cause I imagine all the lettering's still done.
lettering is
digitally.
definitely done all digitally now. They used to I think they used to probably send it to the letterer first and have them do it and then the inker.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, because the lettering was done straight on the page. In like SDC, they actually had they would have a clear sheet of plastic and then put cut out word bubbles on top of the plastic, so they didn't actually put it on the art itself, which is nice for a collector, but it's that's how they did it. But traditionally, it's just like they would do it on the page, and then recently, like maybe 5 years ago, maybe less than that, Archie stopped doing it completely. Like certainly after the new 252, I'd say. Yeah.
Makes sense. Again, it's nice when you buy pages now. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's sometimes it's nice to have the dialogue.
I
Sometimes
like
it's nice just
having
to have.
it. Personally, I like having the dialogue. I like seeing. You can see the inker, the penciler, and the writer and the letterer. Like you can see almost all the process when the words are on the page.
You can, but sometimes you just get nice better art. 'Cause I think we talked about it. There's a couple of issues of Mega Man where they release like just the artwork,
Yeah.
and then in the finished thing, there's I want to say it's one where it's one of the last issues, and it's Wiley's got a big box of like random robot parts from like upcoming robots.
And it's all covered up
And
by
it's covered up,
text.
yeah. So it's something like that. I'm like, because I have the page with the dialogue. I'd rather have the artwork.
So
thing.
the thing about that is, as an artist, you have to be mindful of where the bubbles are going to go, and so maybe not put like things that people would enjoy where the bubbles would go, but also it doesn't quite matter as much now. I mean, still, if you're not going to own that page, you're not going to see that.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, I think it's just because now they actually had a thing where they would release like the first few pages without any lettering, just like
Yeah.
the breakdowns.
like in the backup.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it looks cool. And I can't see anymore. But again, so I think in a lot of ways, Mega Drive itself, very fun issue. I think we I can't remember if you were here when we reviewed Mega Drive, but I think the three of us came to a consensus of it's really fun, great artwork, but it doesn't feel like a complete story.
Yeah,
No.
I remember-
one felt a little bit I don't want to use the word bland because it wasn't bland. The artwork was great and everything. It was just very.
It was like another time,
think-
another place
I
thing.
think
Yeah,
I think
just
the
very
issue.
simple.
I think the issue was when they first announced it. You know, everyone thought it was a one. It was literally going to be a one
Yeah.
shot,
Right.
and so I went into it expecting a completed story. And obviously, before it came out, they announced Next Level was going to be a thing.
right.
But still, like, say if Next Level never came out, and Mega Drive was just the thing, I think I'd be a bit. It was nice.
yeah.
But it was like it's very abrupt ending type of thing, which
I'd say-
which is why I call the whole this is Next Level issue 1 a lot of crap because it's a direct continuation in terms of story. This is Mega Drive issue 2 again. Let me joke about it. Slap an issue 1 on it, it'll sell more. You know, so I know why they did that.
See, I would say that they probably weren't editorial. So Vincent Vallo was like, "We're going to try and get a second issue, but we have to prove to Big Archie, Big A, that we're going to be able to warrant a second and a third issue." And then with 2, they were like, "Okay, we warrant a third one," which sadly now it gets caught off. But
Yeah, but this is this is some of the best artwork
oh yeah,
Archie have ever. I mean, this is up there with some of with like Tracy Yardley's best and Ben Bates in Worlds Collide Arc 3.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these pages rival like the Robot Master fight
Yeah.
sequences. I mean, just the expressionism is so good. I mean, Titan Head puts facial expressions on these characters I never thought I'd see.
they move
You know?
they move like cartoons.
This should
And
be a
it's great,
cartoon.
yeah.
This should,
I mean,
this is why the animation we see in the Mania pre-release trailer is so great because it's like
Tyson Hess.
it's like Mega Drive.
Yeah, the way he draws
moving.
is like made for animation.
Yeah, I mean, and now he's working on the Invader Sim movie.
I believe he's currently now he's a
did the-
storyboard artist for the
yeah.
Invader Zim movie.
and he did the Sonic Mania pre-trailer, or pre-release.
Which
trailer.
I'm hoping that animation's in the game.
I mean,
It'd be stupid if
that
it's
would be
not.
so
It'd be
dumb.
also kind of a waste of money to search
Yeah.
for a trailer. But
Which
I mean-
Aaron Weber on stream, the last stream, they said that there would not be cutscenes in there, but there may be more animation to come. So I'm assuming more animations like that for trailers, but kind of came out and said that in terms of in-game cutscenes that there wouldn't be anything like that
That's
in the
so
game.
dumb. What's the
So-
Well,
point
does
then?
that rule out opening and closing?
I don't know. Because he was very vague, so there still is a chance there could be stuff like that in game, but he was kind of just saying that there wouldn't be like full cutscenes. like that in the
Sega just lets me down left and right. Like, this is nonsense.
Yeah, but enough of that. So
Well-
before we get into Archie as a whole, thoughts on the Next Level.
It's
TJ,
great.
you said nothing. I like that, but what are your thoughts on it?
Um,
Thank you, man. Bobby. What do you think?
oh, is Bobby gonna go? Yeah, I basically the only problems I have with it are the same ones that you do. That it's just kind of cheap. That they're like "This is first issue. It's not a continuation at all. Other than that, yeah, this is my ideal Sonic, and this is everything that I wish.
Sega would do.
Yes, exactly. Because I had this thought when we were watching the stream last year, where I was like, wouldn't it be something if like Sonic Mania was just this,
Yeah.
Yeah.
completely original zones with the same feel that, like, this feels like exactly what you imagined a more fleshed out Sonic 1 and 2 feeling
Yeah.
like.
Well, it's written from the perspective of being a hypothetical Sonic 4 made back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's like a 2D Sonic Heroes.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I love the... Like, if they could pull off a straight game adaptation of this, where you have that sort of co-opt playability, that if you could somehow do that in a game, where
Like
Knuckles can...
Sonic
can-
Advance 3.
I don't remember that very well.
That-
But was it like this?
Sonic Adventure 3 had a kind of you had 2 players on screen the whole time.
Yeah.
And you get different combinations and you get different power up moves and
Yeah.
stuff. So like if you were Sonic with Amy, basically if you were a character and Amy was your assist, everyone had a hammer.
Well, I'm also kind of thinking like the Simpsons arcade game where you and your friend can play, but then you can also
Check
hang
out
out
OP.
together.
Yeah, on FTC.
hint hint wink wink,
Like
where they can. Where Marge and Homer have a power up together, and
But
they can do something specific.
they actually do the Sonic 469 attack.
Yeah.
They go into a ball and run around.
But something where you can have 4 players play it at the same time, but you can also you have moves together and you can interact to beat enemies.
I don't think you could do that for a platformer. Like if it was a straight up beat 'em up, it would work. But I would imagine like you do it like 3 and K, or better example would be Sonic Adventure 1. It's like it's the same levels, you just have different characters do it.
Yeah.
So that you don't play together, but you can do everything as every character. But this again, it's such a damn shame this ends on the cliffhanger. But again, kind of like this has a very similar ending to the Sonic CD issue.
Yeah.
Where it's, fight the Metal Sonic. Oh, we're gonna need this MacGuffin. Let's go get it. Again, I find this is a more satisfying ending than the ending to the first one was.
You die now.
Because the first one was just like, should we go get more of these? Okay.
Whatever.
Again, I'm not trying to put down Mega Drive because, again, if you were to rank all the issues, Mega Drive 1 would be up there because it's a hell of a lot of fun. It's just, they clearly had designs for this to be a series, and I think it was just marketed slightly wrong.
Yeah.
Again, this should be issue 2, but whatever. But so that's Mega Drive. I think again. So my personal favorite issue they've ever released. How about you guys? Would you say
this is up
would you
there,
say this is your number 1?
No, I would say it's up there, but for more personal nostalgia reasons, I probably would put other ones above it. But I would say in terms of quality of artwork and writing and character interactions and everything about it, I would probably say it's their best. Nostalgia and different things aside.
Yeah, I would say this is probably the height of the quality that they can put out. So this is like the accumulation of this is like the best thing one of the best things they can produce.
I would say it's like this and Worlds Collide. For me, like that's like the pinnacle of Archie Sonic at its best.
But personally, there are other things that I like for other reasons. Like I don't think this would be my absolute favorite, especially if we're going by Archie Sonic. If this was a completely separate thing, like if this was like
so between Mega Drive and Mega Drive 2, which is the best?
Mega Drive 2.
There you go. But so speaking of Archie Sonic, as we said, as it's very likely, these are the last issues ever to be released.
Yeah.
We thought we'd give, and I'm trying to remember if on Sonic Says we've ever given our history of the. I know when we
might have in the beginning, but it's been a long time.
I know on the Tracy Yardley stream we did, and I think those are listed in Skype Sanctuary episodes. So to not repeat ourselves, I think if you want the introduction to us to this series, go check out those.
I wasn't on that.
It wasn't. Was you on that part of that stream? I thought you were there for that.
No, I was there for the Boom stream.
Gotcha. Okay.
I wasn't there for the Tracy stream.
I think you've given yours because it's the.
Yours is just like you reread it, so you started to read it. That's pretty.
No. It was my mom. Grocery
my
shopping.
first ever comic book was Sonic.
And then we spent that whole long time trying to figure out what it was.
Yep.
Because you were like, yeah, there's Baby Sonic, and it was like Sonic Kids. You're like, no.
It was
a single freaking panel. I think it was
issue 35.
Yeah, I think it's the one with the Combots on the cover, and it was like there's a flashback of him with I think like a bottle in his face, and he's running, and it says like "too cool" or something.
Something like
on
that.
his shirt.
But the other thing that stuck out to me, I completely forgot. There's a Fantastic Four backup where the Sonic and the Freedom Fighters are the Fantastic Four, and Eggman is
Galactus.
Galactus.
Oh, that's right.
So that used to be a thing. Like it was
Did they
Tails
just
was
do
sick.
parody stuff?
Tails was sick, and so Sonic made a Freedom Fighters comic FF for him to read to him while he was sick. And then the next thing was like the end of it was he made a Bat Sonic comic where he was Batman and Tails was Robin. But the other thing about that is weird is they established in the comic that the Freedom Fighters as a Fantastic Four parody is a thing, and then like in the early hundreds, like maybe 102, they do Freedom Fighters of the Galaxy, a Guardians of the Galaxy spoof, but the same thing. It's stupid.
Yeah, that.
I mean, Freedom Fighters is Fantastic Four. That's stupid, but it's kitschy and kind of. But Guardians of the Galaxy is so obscure. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I to be honest, I didn't even know that was a reference to Guardians.
Yeah, Don
until
Best
just
drew
now.
that story too. The
Yes.
Freedom Fighters of the Galaxy story,
We should have it back on that. And just like, that issue drew a stupid thought.
but not from her artwork. From whoever wrote it.
Other than that,
was
you're a
stupid.
fresh of air.
Hashtag deep cut. I like it.
I think let's start negative and then end positive. So
Blood
let's-
Sonic.
Blood
No,
Sonic.
that's a high point, you fool. Okay, so it's not like so then low point then. What would you say? Because I think Jonathan and Bobby, you are the only ones who have read every issue compared to me and TJ. What would you say then is the low point for you? I mean, as, you know,
Oh no!
no.
no!
just
Oh,
every
boy.
every issue pen is wrong. The low
Not
points.
really.
See, I would. I don't.
But
I don't
again,
actually think that.
I'll give him like Endgame and stuff before that is good, decent.
Well,
It's just when he goes crazy with the backstory.
I
of the
feel
kidneys.
like every time he has Cantervic, it's more. It's a better story. When he's writing with Mike Cantervic, it's a better story.
Yeah, I mean, I would say personally for me, one of my least favorite stories in general was called Hero to Zero.
Hercules,
You,
just
it was-
like that. Hero Zero, and that's so fast.
it was where Anti-Sonic poses as Sonic. It was around the time
Yeah.
of 150.
So
Um,
that was that the one drawn by Art Mahini, where
Yeah.
he's implied to be sleeping around with
Yes.
every girl character.
Yeah.
And that
that's my favorite issue.
I think the worst part about
Sonic's
the
a
art in
player.
that. The worst part about the art in that is Art Mahini has no idea how to draw modern Sonic, so he just gave him these gigantic quills that went like straight down,
It's classic Sonic with like these really long quills.
and they don't
like,
even
these
go
big
out.
green
Like,
eyes.
it's
So
terrible.
it looks like Ron Lim art.
no.
No, it,
Because Ron Lim would draw the spikes stupidly long.
yeah, but he has like long, lanky. It's still kind of proportion wise.
And Ron Lim is very square. All
Don't-
his stuff
don't
is very
tell me
square.
that.
Gareth, it's hip to be square. Don't you know anything about Huey Lewis? So,
And the fake news.
and the fake news. See, that story was terrible, but I liked the idea.
Yeah, it was a good.
I liked the
Premise.
idea, and I
What,
liked
that Sonic sleeps around?
no
Yeah,
that
I love it.
Anti-Sonic
Forever.
takes Sonic's place and messes up his life. That's a good premise.
They did that on an episode of Darkwing Duck. They did that on that short Hero of the Year, where Robotnik dressed up like Sonic.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but, you know, writes on people's faces and everyone wants to kill him.
It's a good solid idea. It's just that it was Ken Penders, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Penders
Shocking.
just makes it awkward and weird because he puts all this weird sexual like hints at it in the book that's not really appropriate. Like Evil Sonic could be doing other things that are bad than sleeping around with women.
Yeah, that was like
eating
the.
his young, right?
He should be
Yes, exactly.
What?
Oh my god, there was a tweet where Ken Penders was like, "Hey, I believe that Mobians abort babies and eat their young."
young.
And it's like, why are you even saying
Why are you
this?
talking? Nobody even asked you that.
Hey, Sega, let's make a game based on my designs.
But I will say the end of that, I really liked.
Sonic Underground would look different if that was a real thing. The Queen, oh no, they're going to kill my babies not if I get them first.
That's how Blood Sonic was born.
She let Sonic live because For some reason, Sonic's face was painted on the crib his brother and sister had to sleep in. He was clearly the favourite. She eats Manic. She left him in the ghetto. She don't give a crap about Manic.
The blood
She
in
eats that guy straight away.
the blood in Blood Sonic is the blood of his siblings.
The royal blood.
I will say I like the Antoine thing in that. Well, I mean that was like 20 issues where that couple pages where Sonic is like, "You're coming home, buddy," where he saves Antoine and you know things start to get better.
Well, and that was the second issue I had ever read was 150 and then 151. So when I was reading it, it was very uncomfortable and I had no clue what was going on.
So while we're on this topic, this kind of translates into one of my high points of the series. And I love those early Ian issues where
He's trying to fix everything.
he's fixing it. Like, he's literally just going, okay, no. Just like in 2 issues' time, just brings it back to something that's
He's like,
recognizable.
The giant talking horse, he has to die.
Yeah,
Sir
right.
Connery.
You
don't love Sir Connery?
The 6 million KSM modes. Nope, I'm going to merge him back in the 7. This guy's dead. We're going to get rid of this.
Turtle.
To be fair, all the every color of the Chaos Emeralds came from a different planet. Makes entirely
We're going to
sense.
fix that completely.
Eggman no longer has a sexy robot secretary. Bring back
Daughter.
Sniffly.
Not secretary, daughter. That was his daughter. And he
he's
had
like,
a son who was
he's
a
like-
computer programmer.
He's like, that wasn't my daughter.
I always said if that sexy robot wasn't my daughter, I would be dating her.
Eggman 2016. Oh, boy.
He makes the train run on time, okay? I like him in charge.
I will say, I really, the early Ian stuff was what got me back interested in the book. Because I was collecting
it's
the
got
book.
well, a lot of people back into the book. I think it was because he and Tracy started on the same issue, didn't they?
No, Ian started...
Birthday Bath, right? Bash.
Did they
Birthday
both?
Bath.
But Tracy...
So I get the praise again, but I want to see my annual bar. Happy birthday, Sonic! You smell.
Jeez, you smell, kid. I'm glad your parents are dead.
What?
Don't you from the Turtles LP? Blood Sonic begins.
Yes, Father. I shall be a blood Sonic.
Oh no, he's killed again.
He's sitting in his house and like a bloody version of himself comes crashing through the window. Yes, Uncle Chuck, that's what he should be. No, that Uncle Chuck gets gunned down by a robot. Like in Spider-Man.
Blood is like a symbiote, like in Spider-Man.
We are Blood Sonic.
It makes his quills just go straight up.
It's better than.
I think what we've all learned here is that
Blood Sonic's a great idea.
Throughout-
Copyright, find the computer.
throughout the years, Sonic has had so many low points that we would rather talk about hypothetical, terrible idea, Blood Sonic, than the book itself.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yes, Ian got me back in the book. I was collecting a bit, but I wasn't really reading it. And I would say yes, I did that. You probably did that at some point with something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got
Other
friends
than
that do that, you know. So
Well, the first issue that I collected was Knuckles, where, Charmy's friend Mello the Bee dies from a drug overdose.
oh yeah,
What? Was that the main book or was that...
that was a
That was
Knuckles.
a Knuckles
That was
series.
like an early issue of Knuckles too.
That is
That was
a
like the
drug
first 10.
overdose?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the chili dog sauce is laced with drugs.
Yeah, there was this whole. There was this.
What is the matter with you, Penders?
This is a character going, I've wasted my life.
No, I never read that crap. I'm glad. I didn't waste...
Yeah.
These idiots wasted their lives reading that. I read most of only the good stuff.
There was a whole criminal underground led by Ebony Hare, or some.
Yeah.
he was a like way to go to name your gangster villain Ebony.
And he was
And he was a gangster,
A pimp,
and like,
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
pimp?
not awkward at all. Like, cringeworthy stuff.
what was the rat's name?
Splinter.
Renfield, rat or rodent. Yeah, he worked him into the Chaotix origin, and he was who ran the Carnival Night Zone. So, you know, yeah. Except with more tainted chili dogs. I would say the lowest point would be like in the 190s, from like the late 190s through Penders, like that whole thing, because you had majority Rotten Limb art, which
190.
no, the 90s.
Oh,
It
you,
issued
You
the-
said 190. I was like Ian stuff.
early like somewhere in the 90s.
Radical.
Because his art was just really bad and awkward.
Yeah, I don't-
He's a decent
I
regular
don't want
artist.
to. I don't want to crap on someone like that, and I'm sure he can draw better than I ever really could.
Yeah,
But in terms of the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, his artwork is hideous.
yeah.
Yeah, and that was even the time too, wasn't it, where there were covers done by Spaz, but he had
Yeah.
this very
He was going for a very anime, like
Yeah.
90s anime.
Is that the ones
style.
where like, the eyes get real big and like the
and
mouths?
then the mouths
yeah.
are like off
yeah,
of the
go
face.
off
Yeah,
I don't really-
and
I-
spines are real long.
I never really cared for that style of Spaz's.
I will say he did designs for a anime Sonic special that never happened, or just for fun, and it was in the back of I think it was in the back of an issue or something. But I like the Sonic and the Freedom Fighters
yeah.
designs looked pretty cool because they were kind of chibi, and like they Sonic was a little more OVA-ish. Snively was like a naked, bony, like anime guy with like cybernetics that was like really creepy, and like all the robots were like very detailed mechs.
I'll look this up.
It was pretty cool. Like,
Was
I
it
wish
back in one of the Sonic Super
it
Specials.
was either in the back of
before
one
that
of
was
the
canceled?
super specials. I think it might have been the all girl issue, maybe. Or it was
Yeah,
in the
around
back
that
of or it was in the back of one of the issues. I wish that was a thing, because I thought the designs were cool. I think the writing would have probably been terrible, and I think it would have been a fun one-off to be like, wow, this is just crazy, like throwing everything at the wall crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and I think sometimes that's a good thing. Not every issue. But yeah, no, I think like it's a huge chunk of issues, but I think that was pretty bad, because I would say I was really into the book. I'd say from the beginning until like right after Sonic Adventure. I would say I was still with it. I was still like really jazzed for everything about it. It was really just that point.
So, what's like your least favorite like issue personally?
Either issue or story. What is
Yeah, like
what is
Uh,
one where you're like, I will never read this again?
I'll tell you, I was extremely disappointed by the return of Robotnik, because I really loved the classic Archie Robotnik. Really loved him, and then he comes back and is immediately killed off again. That was probably my biggest disappointment.
Oh, the one issue where he
Yeah.
comes back and then dies by the end again.
Yeah, like that's the one I probably was most upset by, because I was so disappointed by it. There's just so much garbage though that
Yeah.
Well, while
that's
looking
hard.
for that, I came across something where I think TJ would have loved it. Apparently, issues 38 and 39 of the Sonic X book are about a giant Godzilla-sized spectator crocodile.
Oh,
Destroying
yes.
Station Square.
Yeah.
So, is there anything that anyone is disappointed about not getting that, because if it
Trades.
is
More
if it,
trades.
like if it's cut off right now, there are things that are in the pipeline that we're not going to get.
I think really it's just because everything they had announced, like upcoming issues,
Yeah.
sounded like they would have been fun. Like the mini adaptation of Sega Sonic Arcade. Like some of that stuff
Yeah.
sounded like it would have been fun, but there wasn't anything that was like I need to read this like Overdrive. Really, it's just like I guess just for completion's sake, part 4 of Genesis of a Hero,
Yeah.
like that really, because I like things if I prefer the things to be ended on a like no like loose ends, so complete story arcs. That's what bums me out. Like we now currently sitting at 2 story arcs that, as far as we're aware, won't ever be finished.
Yeah. I mean, of course, I'm upset about the Antoine issue.
I-
'cause that was the very next
I'm
issue.
so sorry, man. I
The
wish
very
that would
next
have come out.
issue. I also Matt Herm's cover for the next issue of Sonic.
The Knuckles variant.
yeah,
yeah.
like that is a beautiful cover, and I wish I could have it physically. I hope that one day he makes it a print, and I see him, and I buy that print from him, because that is a great cover. I was really looking forward to the Sega Sonic arcade adaptation.
From what I understand,
and the cover
though,
was done by Tyson Hess, too.
From what I understand,
Yeah.
that would have only been like the first 10 pages.
What? Really?
Apparently, these solicits, there was 2 stories.
Okay.
It was like that, and then I guess in the back it was like Cream and Tails trying to bake something. I think was the.
Oh, because that's the variant that I actually own. I bought that. I jumped on it when I
That
saw
cover?
it. Yeah.
Was that Jennifer Hernandez?
Yeah.
Good stuff. But yeah, so again, that's the thing. Where I was like, I mean that game doesn't have a lot of story, but I would have liked the whole issue of that
Yeah.
rather than just 10
Yeah.
pages type of thing. But again, just the fact that there's so many trade, like we never got champions as a trade.
Well,
or,
and another
or
thing.
scrambled.
Yeah.
Was
Or scrap. Yeah, I mean, because that's the thing is like there's like 4 universe arcs that because they weren't traded, I never got to read. But if they were just kept up on trades, I would have had them by now.
Yeah.
You know.
right.
There's also the art book. I would have
Yeah.
loved that
Oh,
art
man,
book.
the art
I would have
book.
loved that art
That
book.
would have been really nice.
I still would have liked. I mean, it's out of print now. I still would have liked to have gotten the comic encyclopedia. So many
Yeah.
times I saw it, I was like, get it another time. It's fine. No, it's out of print. I
With
can't
that,
believe
you
it.
got to be careful because there's
There's a bad version and a
bad
good
version
version.
and a good version.
I can't believe it. Archie released something substandard. What are the odds?
That one single trade of Universe that has bad paper quality.
And it's Scourge Lockdown.
Yep.
One of my favorite arcs. It's like the one with
I love how
crappy paper.
Jonathan's finally come around on this.
What's that?
Because he used to be the guy who was like, it's newsprint, but it's a good quality newsprint.
It is a good quality
Don't-
newsprint, but it doesn't match the rest of
when
it.
you compare it to the other one, it's low quality.
Yeah, exactly.
But they still charge us the same price.
See, I don't feel like I have to defend them anymore because
They've screwed you over.
because we're not getting anything else from them. So
I think it's funny. Like you go back and listen. This is going to be episode like 27, 8 or something like that. Go back to like the first few ones, and I'm like I couldn't speak kinder to Archie. Like I love this company, giving us trades quickly. They're releasing books we love. They can never do anything to make me hate them.
And then they wronged you.
then
they're wrong.
then the Archie Nation attacked.
I mean, they're just they've had poor choices. They don't always treat their creators like they should. No, as far as I know, no royalties.
No royalties. Low pay. Because I mean, there was a thing where like I guess a website broke down like here's what all the companies pay their artists and writers like per page, and even though even though an artist put it publicly on their Facebook, I won't say who said it, but a Sonic artist said that even apparently for the Archie standard rates, this artist didn't come close to even getting paid that.
So, and that leads me to think and talking to other creators that have worked on the book, the fact that Big Archie never really paid much attention or really cared entirely too much about the Sonic books as much as, it's just another paycheck. So
Even though,
which,
again, we've talked about it, not now obviously, they're their reboot River has been fairly successful. At least the main Archie book has been. Things like Reggie and Me flopped. Who saw that coming? But there, as we said before,
That sold less than Sonic. Wow.
I know, right? There were years where, outside of the digests, because I was always so good,
Yeah.
single issue Sonic was pretty much keeping that company afloat.
Yep.
And it's just a thing where I completely understand. From a business decision, you would want to be known more for your own characters, and you want your own characters to be more successful than a licensed book. Even though, and again, like it's a licensed book that helped keep them afloat, and it's a Guinness World Record holder.
Yeah.
You would think they would milk that a bit more, like they would show some pride
Put
in the
it
fact
on the
that-
cover or something. I don't know.
And I mean, and again, if you don't include the fact that with Rebirth, DC went back to their original numbering.
Yeah.
It was a good few years where Sonic was the highest numbered book on the show for a long time. I mean,
I mean, also the amount of lawsuits related to the Sonic.
it's crazy.
Well,
the fact that this comic book based on a little cartoon character caused so much legal problems.
Because Archie didn't know what they were doing from the get-go.
Yeah, they did. It's like they didn't know how to write up a contract for freelance.
Which
creators.
Sega aren't the best at that either. There's numerous things of music licenses issues with older games and stuff. But
if you look at
crazy.
something like Hasbro and their Transformers license, they know how to do it. Like Marvel if they put something into the Transformers comics that they wanted to keep, they had to think of interesting ways to work around their contract, and they did. But for the most part, characters created for the Hasbro Transformers book or for the Marvel Transformers book belong to Hasbro. Impactor and
except for Spider-Man.
he wasn't created for Transformers.
Yes, he was. Damn it.
In my heart, he was.
I guess going back to an earlier question where you said what's something you're we're looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
It is a shame that we were so close to issues 300 and 100 respectively for main book. I mean, again, that's I think a lot of people, if the book had to end, we were less than a year. And again, we were less than a year. But if you include or if you don't include all of the delays, we probably would have been there by now.
Yeah.
Because we missed 3 months last year, and it's been 6 months now. That would have pretty much taken us up to issues. I think that would have. I think that would have at least crossed to 100 for Universe. I think the main
definitely.
book would have been like 98, 99 maybe, but we could have been there by now. And I think
That's really disappointing.
that would have been the perfect place to end both.
Well, and I think too the other thing that's a huge disappointment is even accepting that it's done or canceled, whatever. Ian had mentioned publicly, online that he had a story to where if it was ever canceled, it was kind of like an ending for some closure. But it obviously never went into detail what that was, so it's a shame he never had a chance.
And it's funny that now he's got 2 Lost Hedgehog tales that he can't do anything with.
Yeah.
Like,
What do you mean?
he's got Lost Hedgehog tales that he was working on for the pre-reboot continuity.
Yeah.
Now he's got this stuff. Like, he's got all this stuff he's never used.
But I
He
mean,
was, his plans,
if
so.
the book actually gets officially cancelled, there's probably nothing going to stop him releasing those. Then is there? Unless it gets picked up elsewhere.
There are so many different things that could happen. Like issues, like someone could pick it up and be like, "Oh, well, there are issues that aren't printed that we have the ability to obtain. We'll do trades of old stuff and do that."
I mean, for like the upcoming stories that weren't ever worked on, he could, if the book's cancelled.
Yeah.
He could probably and if say the book in a worst case scenario, the book is cancelled and either isn't picked up anywhere or it's picked up but Ian isn't brought on to work on it. Then at that point he could. And I hope he would, because I'd love to read it.
Yeah.
At that point there probably wouldn't be anything stopping him other than just I've had enough of this hedgehog now. I want to move on.
Like I had a book canceled which, surprise, surprise, I heard about it being canceled a couple issues before it was canceled. So that was a nice heads up, as opposed to, hey, where's the issue of Sonic?
Is that Jim?
No. Well,
Oh,
that's
Transformers?
happened too. It's a Transformers book.
Yeah.
But the person who is writing that, Marguerite Scott, actually went on and it's like, hey, here are a few things that I wanted to get to that I'm not going to get to. Just so you know, these are things that I wanted to do. And it was a nice like letter to people who were following the book and like, you know, I wanted to do this, but I'm not going to. And I was given an ultimate, like kind of an explanation. She was essentially giving it like the sales decreased to the point where they were like, we are either going to need to switch up the story, switch up the cast, make it a tie-in book to a main event, or do whatever. And she was like, you know, I don't really want to do any of that. I have a story that I want to finish, and, you know, I guess I'll just let it be that.
So did IDW let her finish that story?
So the story in Transformers Till All Are One, there's going to be, she announced it with issue 10.
Only issue 10. Damn.
She announced it. Well, there were 2 miniseries before this that she wrote that are kind of connected. So when issue 10 came out, she announced it that issue 12 is going to be the last issue. And then
Is that enough for her to finish her story?
But there's also IDW is going to release an annual to finish the story.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I you know, at least IDW is being mindful of, hey, there's a story that needs to get told, so we're going to do that.
That's why I've been saying from the beginning, I want this place to go to IDW, because IDW they
very
release,
much care
they
about
release
their
stuff. They
continuities.
release stuff on time. They release trades. They're good with that stuff, and they care. They seem to care about their story. It's like, you know, you said about Gem. It's being cancelled, but they're doing a mini series, I guess, to finish the story.
Well, it's a mini series of a different story.
Okay.
So they're still keeping, like, since they had that partnership with Hasbro. So IDW is treating their Hasbro properties as like they're going to do mini series or set stories. I think that's what they're going to do now. Is they're going to do
So like we'll have like 2 mini series a year, or something like that, maybe.
1 or 2, because G.I. Joe's going to end with 10, and they're going to do a G.I. Joe mask, G.I. Joe mask crossover
That
mini
sounds
series.
terrible, but okay.
Yeah. So they're
Where's the Action Force crossover? Damn it!
it was the same thing essentially.
They're
but
just British.
yeah. Instead of Dashiell Fairborn, it's like Nathaniel Fairborn.
It's like Reginald. Everyone's just called Reginald. I say Reginald, quality show.
But like, since it's not like an actual like this, the continuity's not ending or anything. It's just they're gonna do what they can to finish the story. So
See, that's very respectful to the creators and the fans. Which, yeah. So, aren't you?
yeah.
I will say to give them some slight credit. I do like the fact that they have kept on a handful of the Sonic writers and artists doing things here and there on the Archie books.
Yeah.
Like
Ian
Ian
is
Flynn
doing
is
Jughead.
co-writing Jughead with Mark Waid. Ryan Jampold's done pencil breakdowns. Matt Herms has done coloring for a few things.
The Big Moose one shot.
And the Archies. And is it just Jampo and Herms? Trace Cheston hasn't done anything.
No, which is sad.
Did
but
Jennifer Hernandez do? I thought she did.
She might have, but I don't
something
remember.
small, like maybe a cover or something for one of their books, or
That's weird to
I don't
say that a
know.
cover is small. I'd say a cover is.
That's
isn't
the-
all
I
right.
meant
mean,
just like a
that's-
single.
That's what
thing.
to me is so crazy. In the beginning, when they had like 50 covers for their issue ones,
Yeah.
not once did that they go to like Tracy. You know,
Yeah.
they went to T-Rex, who had drawn a few issues of Sonic.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
He did a decent cover for Archie #1. And I think Ryan Jampo's done a variant cover here and there, but like Archie has been. I mean, Tracy Hardy has been one of the most most beloved artists for 10 years. He helped. He along with Ian Flynn, about those two, because as good as Ian Flynn's writing is, and they just had artwork to back it up.
If he
it
was
still
doing it
would've-
with Ron Lim, it would not have worked.
I wouldn't have read it. I'm just
Yeah.
like, I remember years ago reading it was just on Stanley's Monsters, Marvels, and Mutants. Still straight to DVD thing he did with Kevin Smith. He's talking about comic books.
Yeah.
and Stanley said something about comic books, which it's kind of stuck in me. And it's kind of what I believe. Obviously, Stanley is a writer first and foremost. He loves everything's about story. But he was asked, I think Kevin asked him about books, and Stanley said, I'm paraphrasing, he said, if I'm being completely honest, the artwork is slightly more important because that's what draws people in. You can have the best written book in the world,
Yeah.
but if it looks like crap, people will lose interest. Not of everything, there's certain thing, but that's why, again, you could have Ian Flynn's fantastic writing, but again, no disrespect to the man, but Ron Lim's artwork, I'm like, I can't, I'm good, no thanks. So again, kind of disheartening to hear that Archie haven't once been like, hey Tracy, draw this, or do something.
And Jennifer Hernandez could kill Betty and Veronica. I mean, not murder. Not murder them.
100 episodes, Betty and Veronica.
Jennifer Hernandez could do a really good Betty and Veronica.
Jennifer Hernandez could do anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you
Damn,
believe
I
in
love
yourself,
that
you can do anything. But like, I think out of most of them, seeing her like anime art, like her Sailor Moon and stuff, I think she could do a good Archie or a good Betty and Veronica.
Going back to what I said, I think it's entirely possible. I was gonna say it's entirely possible he was offered. Tracy Elliott was offered, but denied because I don't think Tracy would turn down work.
Yeah.
But I remember speaking to him once, and he said he didn't like. Again, I may be remembering this wrong, because this was like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think he said something where he didn't necessarily enjoy drawing humans anymore. Because he'd been drawing Sonic for so long.
I think he said he found it more difficult. But he is doing Galaxy Man and...
is that still going on?
I just don't really know how to get it. I think you can get it off the website, but I get it from him at conventions.
I know he did some issues of Hero Cats, which I thought I bought one or two issues that he... And I must be honest, I didn't really read them, but like I bought... Tracy, I'll support Tracy, so I bought a few issues of it. It's such a shame. He's such a goddamn talented man.
Yeah.
And I think too that was one of the big issues that I had with Archie. Even with the Sonic book, they were bringing on new artists, and it's like, well, Tracy seemed to be.
No, to be fair though, Tracy pretty much consistently was always in universe. Because I mean, that's what Tracy had told me. I think it was the previous editor, Mike Picarillo.
Pellerito.
I think pretty much said when they were talking about making Universe, Mike was like, Tracy, this is going to be your book.
Yeah.
Which is, which aside from a handful of arcs, he's drawn and written a few things. So I think to be fair, I don't necessarily agree. I think Archie had been pretty good to him. In terms of
another thing is,
he regularly still did covers for the main book as well.
I also think they need to get more artists on that book. I think they needed to. I think that just to like mix things up, have different perspectives on it. Like sure, like I think more so than Tracy. I think Stephen Butler kind of got pushed to the side by the influx of new talent.
I don't remember even.
Because with Butler. Pretty much with the reboot, he didn't really do any much. He did do a couple. He did main book. He did a lot of main book.
Yeah.
Has it been traded?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they got to. Because he did. I think he did stuff before and stuff after the books that have been traded. Gotcha. He did do a couple issues of Sonic Boom though.
Butler did?
Yeah. Didn't he do?
Did he do the Oktoberfest?
I think he did Oktoberfest. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's a good book.
Oktoberfest.
But I mean, sometimes people do get pushed out of the way. But I think that's also.
I think again, to try and give Archie some credit, I think they were trying to reach out and get maybe more high profile artists, kind of, because they would go out and get.
That's what they like. Maybe fan wise, because they got people that worked on fan comics like Evan Stanley.
Well, no, I mean that they would like World Unite. They made a big kind of a big deal about it. Was TJ Ghostbuster artist
Dan.
Dan Schoening.
They could have really promoted that. That John's drawing Sonic type of thing.
See, because and I feel like it was more so the past when they were really eager to get like top name talent. Because Ron Lim was a huge thing in the 90s, and like
And then Sonic killed his career.
maybe I don't know. I like his Marvel stuff beforehand is pretty much all I really know about him. So, yeah, but yeah, I think you do have to have some sort of rotation.
Yeah, I guess I was just so attached to. Well, I mean, for a while there, Tracy was like the only penciler that covers and all the interiors. So
like I love Tracy. I'll never pass up Tracy Yardley work.
no,
Just hopefully with Jim and Marsh inks.
Yeah. But I'm also gonna say I also like Evan Stanley. I like
Jennifer
Hernandez, Diana Skelly.
Jamal Peppers.
I love like I there are so many people that we got after 252 that I like that I'm
I think though with the influx of new artists is that sometimes it again I have no idea what the process was for actually hiring these people, so what I'm about to say may be a load of rubbish, but it kind of seems like some of them didn't really know how to draw the characters before. I guess what was that to count on the Chaos issue 3.
I don't know what happened there
Because like everyone looks
That's weird.
Like the artwork itself is fine, but a lot of times characters look off model.
Well, I think what happened was they needed someone fast who could do it because deadlines. And I think they were just like, this guy was interested.
Wasn't Evan Stanley started drawing? Was Evan Stanley the start Captain on the Chaos?
Yeah, I think Evan Stanley was the start.
That's also
and then Tracy did an issue. I think it might have had.
I think Tracy was issue 4 again because that
so I
was
think
issue 3.
The first two were Evan. I think first two were Evan, and then it was the one guy, and then it was.
I think it was the because there was that single issue before Captain on the Chaos started. I think it was that first 252. And then the first 2 parts of Countdown the Chaos was Evan Stanley, and then
see, I think that was scheduling.
Other person was because I know it was for that's also a big thing in the reboot was just they'd have these arcs with changing artists, and I'm like, if you can have an artist who, let's say technically isn't as good as someone else, that's fine. But when you have like this artist who isn't as used to drawing Sonic characters in an arc, and then you bring in Tracy for an issue. Yeah. Like it just creates such a giant gap where I'm like, I want this for the whole story.
Honestly, I think it's hard to if you're doing an arc, I think it's kind of hard to be followed up by Tracy or to follow Tracy. No, I think that's I think that's a hard thing too.
I'm talking about within the arc itself.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like with the last Panic in the Sky. That like ending with Tracy, I was like, Tracy.
It's good from a fan perspective.
Yeah.
But then when you go back, because I forget who drew the first.
Diana Skelly, and she was fantastic.
That's good.
Like Diana Skelly was fantastic. I liked the pages that Adam Bryce Thomas did. I like Adam Bryce Thomas. He was going to do the Freedom Fighters arc, and it was going to be inked by Jim Amash, and I was going to be so happy because Jim Amash on Adam Bryce Thomas was great with Matty Herms.
The Conqueror colors.
That would have been just perfect. Would have been so good. Okay. Anything else negative we want to talk about? Get off our chests.
We've said it in the past. We said it, but World Unite, not the best thing ever made.
No, yeah.
That more so than anything reeks of Archie meddling.
I would say it's Archie so well. And maybe Sega too. Because I think maybe Sega and Capcom were like, ooh, that got some excitement.
To me, it seems more like Archie was like, we need more money. And also, in a way, it's like Mega Man's not doing as well as it could be. Let's bring in X, which in one side I kind of understand, but I just wish if it had to be done, finish the Unleashed arc first, then do that.
Yeah.
You know.
It was a
Please, we're going to cancel the book before that happens.
But they
We gotta
did
get
cancel.
this in.
They did cancel Mega Man 2 years before it Unleashed Arc ended.
Yeah.
That is probably my biggest in terms of Archie.
Yeah.
In 2 years, nothing up about Mega Man. It's just they technically. I mean, Jonathan, you would point out they released those 2 volumes of Worlds Unite.
It's technically something new.
And again, another thing, like they didn't finish the trade of, we didn't get a part 3 or a complete collection. I mean, as much as I didn't really like Worlds Unite, I still would have bought, because I'm a shameless consumer.
Yeah.
I still would have bought 3 individual trades and the inevitable collector's edition that came out 4 years afterwards. That's just how Archie goes. But yeah.
Do we want to talk about collecting? Since you mentioned collecting,
Go for it.
because me and Bobby, and I think, well, all of us, I think mostly me and Bobby, we've got a huge. I've got all the issues, all the variants. You
have every single one?
I have every single Archie Sonic issue and every single variant, all of the trades, all the digests, all of the specials. There was a preview. There was a preview of issue 0 that was handed out at conventions, and a preview that was packaged in like Howard Johnson boxes or something. I have all that. So I've been a completionist with this. I've also got a ton of art.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really a bunch of art. So, and that's been a really fun thing to spend my money on, I would say. Like, I've been very passionate about actually physically going out and searching. And I think one of the most disappointing things for me was that my last issue to collect, I broke down and bought it off eBay. Because I would go to comic shops and actually root through their back issues looking for issues of Sonic the Hedgehog. One of the first things I bought from Pack Rat was issue 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So our local comic shop that we all go to, that was one of the first things. That was actually, I think, the reason I went there was because I was looking for Sonic issues.
Same
and
for me.
Because I needed a place to get Worlds Collide. Because when I first moved to America, Worlds Collide started like 2 months afterwards, so I needed a place to go find it. And that's when you started the ill-fated Sonic Club.
Yeah, we had a Sonic-based club in the basement of the comic shop.
I remember one time, Bobby, you brought like a crock pot of chili with hot dogs and buns.
Yeah.
And it was, I remember that because I don't know anyone there. I'm not sure if we've said this, but when I first came to America, I had I knew my wife and her family and some of her friends, and I had friends like Smoothies, people I knew online anyway, and Skylar, people who lived there. But Jonathan was my first new friend I made in America, and it was Sonic the Hedgehog, which is amazing and dumb in a long way. No,
Yeah.
To be fair, that's how I met my wife, through this stupid hedgehog as well. So,
and I think the biggest and that wouldn't have even happened without the Archie comic.
which
Because I probably wouldn't have been so into Sonic the Hedgehog without it. We probably definitely wouldn't have had a Sonic club based out of a comic shop if there was not a Sonic comic.
And there was, because I kept going to Pack Rat and would get it every month. They're like, there's this guy named Jonathan, and he like loves Sonic. You need to talk to him. And finally,
He's
like
this creepy adult.
also, something that also blew my mind was when we get there. I can't remember if it was the first time or the second time, but we were talking, and I had never met someone in real life who had seen something I'd made on FTCR, but you had listened to the Super Flower interview with Ian Flynn. I remember I was like texting Steve and like, I met someone who's listened to the crap we make. I'm gonna kill him.
To be fair, that was the only thing I had ever listened to. I mean, it was because of Ian Flynn.
It's still like
and Ian Flynn was like,
it's still something that I had made that someone in IRL had watched, and that was very.
Just so you know, I'm not like a crazy fangirl. That was like, yeah.
But now he is.
But now I am.
So it was like, I've been watching the FT show. People like, Jonathan, stop doing that. Spend your time doing something better than that.
I haven't seen my spouse in days. But I'm caught up on the Crash Bandicoot LP. Man, that thing you said in Turtles sure was swell.
Hashtag Meryl Street Fighter.
Hashtag Meryl Street Fighter.
Hashtag Blood Sonic.
Blood Sonic versus... It's a second character in Meryl Street Fighter. But it's weird if it wasn't for this book. This obviously this podcast wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
But the four of us wouldn't be here. Jonathan and TJ, you two were friends before this, but I think you said that you knew you got because I think was the Sonic Club the first time you two met, Bobby and Jonathan.
We met one time before that. Like it was like a month or two before.
But you two weren't really friends before Sonic Club.
No, yeah, we met at Pack Rat one night and started talking about Sonic for like an hour or two.
There's another weird thing about the comic shop and Sonic. So I had a Halloween costume from high school where it was Saturday Morning Robotnik.
Nice.
And I had a Sonic costume from when I was like 10. And so Teresa was like, "Oh, you have these costumes. We have this kid that would, we'd like you to dress up for him." So I dressed up as Robotnik, and I got Mitchell to dress up in my 10-year-old Sonic costume.
It still fits him.
It was a little tight, even for Mitchell.
I thought you were going to say a Sniggly costume.
I wish.
What
So
color is my
we met
heart?
this kid, and it was awkward as all get out. There's a picture somewhere. I wish I saved it of me and Mitchell dressed up. It was Jack's girlfriend at the time took it, our Spider Jack. So his girlfriend took this picture because it was hilarious, and she posted it on Facebook at one point. And Mitchell told her to delete it. I don't think I ever saved it, so she might have it somewhere, but I don't know.
It wouldn't be too awkward if you messaged her now, would it? Be like, "Hey, we haven't spoken in like 5 years.
I'd have to. I
still got this
Do you
picture?
have this picture? We really want to see it.
We need to see it for our Sonic the Hedgehog themed podcast."
Do you remember? I don't remember because I don't think we were friends with Gareth at the time. But
Well, me and him were friends before you and I became friends.
I know,
so.
that's what. Were you friends with him when he drove to New Jersey?
No, I think that was like a year or two before I met him.
He drove to New Jersey
Yeah.
and bought that
It was
fiberglass.
So it was a
That would have been
display.
a trip I would have loved to have. That sounded like the perfect trip
You know
for us
what?
to take, man.
It would have been better to take you than Jack.
Because
I
I know all that stuff. I would
'Cause
have appreciated it more.
I think Jack was just like, "This is really stupid. Why are we doing
But
this?"
what I'm saying is, my point, you can get to that in a second, but my point of all this is I love how 1 year for Comic Book Day, that was one of the attractions.
Yeah.
Was Jonathan's
really?
I have
Yes.
a picture. Like it was like 2 years before I met you. My picture at Free Comic Book Day. That
It might have
year
been.
Was
It
in
might
Where
have been a
is
little
it?
bit.
Is it in your parents' basement?
It's in my parents' shed because I can't get that into my apartment.
Oh, why not?
Where
It's
am I
pretty
going
big.
to put
It's
it?
too big.
Yeah, it's
Put it in the guest bedroom.
it goes up to the ceiling.
Leave it
Like,
here, then. Leave it in
so-
my house.
I don't know if you could get it down here. I mean, if
Yeah,
you
hold on, let me
want to
find the picture
house
of
it, if you want to house it, I would probably be open to you housing it.
Because I'll keep it safe.
Yeah, it's what it was is a display from Best Buy stores where
For what game?
I think it came out. I think it was around 1996, but it might have been. It was Sonic 3 and Knuckles ish.
Yeah,
But there was a Mario that went with it, and
You
it
know
was
what?
it was right in front of the huge TVs.
Looking at it, it's the same basic Sonic design that I think Jamal Pepper used for the variant cover of Genesis Alpha Hero 2.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Let me open up my issue 1 second.
So another thing about that is that was when I met Dawn
Yeah.
Best for the first time. Yep.
Yeah.
That was when I met Dawn Best for the first time.
You know what?
And she used to go to our comic shop.
She went there. The first free comic day I went there, the same one where Mike Pollock was there.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I started my Boom Shadow drawing collection. Which I need to get Jennifer Hernandez, the next one on my list to get. I have Dawn, Tracy,
Matt.
Bobu.
Uh,
I need like a Tyson Hess.
if you can
Oh,
ever
man, yeah,
Hawaiian
he managed
shirt,
that,
boom shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there are good times that came out of this. I mean, is there anything related to the content of the book that's everyone really likes, or you know?
I think Ian Flynn just understood this franchise.
Yeah.
He was a fan of it. He just without him, without having like someone who knew this franchise in and out, it's I don't know. It just feels like he helped keep this book alive. He kept this book alive. His Eggman. For some reason, whenever writers work on this franchise, people seem to get Eggman the best. Like, Ian Flynn is a great Eggman. Pontiac and Graff, great Eggman. Colors, Lost World, great Eggman. The Sonic Boom writing team, you can make the case that Eggman is one of the better characters in that show. For some reason, people Eggman just seems to be, unless you're Eddie LeBron, Eggman just seems to be a character people can get.
I mean, and cartoon interpretations, the Saturday Morning was a good Robotnik.
The only bad,
The Adventures Robotnik was a fun.
the only one that's not good really is Underground, and it pains me because it's Gary Chalk voicing him, but he's just like a less interesting Satayam.
Yeah.
Robotnik, even the OVA, great.
Oh, that's fantastic! Yeah.
Great.
And that's classic Eggman.
Yeah.
Like that design.
That is the only animated.
Well, a little bit
aside from the end of CD, but that's the real proper only version of the original Japanese classic Eggman design, and it looks great. It's adorable.
I mean, Ian really, he's been the primary writer through for the last over 10 years.
Well, I mean, on the main book, he's written everything.
Yeah.
I think.
I think on the main book.
Maybe in the very beginning, I think some of the backups weren't his.
Yeah.
Like the Sonic Rush.
Tanya Del Rio.
Yeah, Tanya Del Rio.
Yeah.
And in Universe, a few arcs were Tracy. I think like one or two arcs, and Evan Stanley.
Yeah, Ian's wife, Alea
Baker,
Baker,
which
did one or two.
they're always credited as writing together, but I think certain comments Ian's made on the Bumblecast, I think is primarily her.
Yeah, I thought Spark of Life specifically was written.
Yeah,
she was the one credited.
I thought he still had a and credit.
He could have.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. Alea definitely wrote some of the backups in the main book, like when Amy and Nicole and Tells hunting down Kerosene Moons like that crystal mine. I know there are a few backups where it was just her. And
that was good.
That was good. Yeah. I mean,
Did she just do the Sally and Bunny one?
I forget.
I
think
that was just her.
I think it was just her. Yeah, but again, just as much crap as we give Archie.
Yeah.
And as much as much, and I think we've said it in the past, but I really want to make it clear. Whenever we criticize Archie, we're really just talking about the upper management.
Yeah.
Nobody directly.
No.
I mean, not even Vincent. I keep forgetting
Vincent LaValla.
I'm you can tell from the back of the books he gets this franchise. Yeah. He loves this franchise. It's really just.
I think from Vince down, I've got no complaints with any of them, and I think every once in a while we might say something that might come off as a little hard on a certain person or a certain story. I think that's partially because we're kind of looking. We have to look at this a little bit from an analytical perspective. So yeah, but I mean, I would say majority of everything, Ian onward, has been great.
Yeah, exactly. Which we wouldn't keep doing this if it was a chore to go through. Again, there are the odd issue, or maybe there's a certain issue that has bad artwork, or a certain issue that didn't have the best story. But generally speaking, this is since I've been in America now At,
Except watch.
well, no, seriously. At the time of this recording, in 8 days, I would have been in this country for 5 years.
Wow.
And I'm so depressed. But reading this book, it's been I wouldn't say it's been life changing. Well, I guess not really. In a way, it has been life changing because I wouldn't have met you nerds. Shut up, TJ.
He wishes he wouldn't have met you.
Play a Queen Elena in the underground opening. Remember I showed you that?
Oh, yeah.
The animation verse. I'm not sad anymore. I met these nerds, which I guess I'm happy for. But it's a very fun book. It's probably one of the most consistently strong pieces of media, of licensed media, for a franchise character.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of again put a gun to my head.
And now it's dead.
And now it's dead. Put a gun to my head, and maybe just because of nostalgia, I might still say I prefer STC. There was something very, for me, Archie in the grand scheme of things took a while to find its footing and get good. STC kind of got there by issue 9.
Well, I think the biggest thing is, you grew up with STC. I mean, so it's already everything else is at a standstill.
Well,
but I mean, I think it's a lot to do with the prevalence of the freedom fighters.
Well, I mean, STC had its own freedom fighters.
Yeah.
They had Johnny Lightfoot and
But
Porky
I
Lewis.
would say
they weren't as full front.
Yeah.
But I would even say that even
I would say that the freedom fighters are better developed characters and more prevalent in Archie than in STC.
yes, but
Especially Johnny Lightfoot.
yeah, but you could make the argument though, in early Archie that was a detriment. It became too much about the freedom fighters. Which
See,
which I'm saying it could be dependent on your preference. But I mean, that's one thing I like about even removing nostalgia. You could say at least in the beginning, let's say the first 100 odd issues of SEC. Even though Nigel Kitchen, he said never really played the games at all. A lot more faithful to the spirit and what the franchise was than when Ian Flynn came in. You kind of got most of that, but he still had to deal with the
I think a lot of that is because the Penders was really pushing for Saturday morning based, and so it started going on that roller coaster. And when Ian got on, when Ian got in, he was like, well, okay, we're gonna bring this train back to.
We're gonna kill off everyone who's dumb. We're gonna get rid of all this stuff.
So it was less about. And I'm not saying that STC doesn't have weird stuff that's bad.
Sonic and Earth is a terrible idea. Should not be done.
Like
the tail stuff where he goes to the nameless zone.
The tail stuff is essentially the Knuckles stuff, kind of. Like it's a similar type of thing.
Kind of, but they don't.
Yeah. Except no one dies of drug overdose.
Exactly. That's why it's any better.
Tails isn't Jesus.
And it's also you also get some great stuff though with Knuckles. There's a few arcs where Knuckles goes with him, and like Tails like, please just play along. Well, I think Knuckles pretends to be Sonic. Tails is sidekick.
Yeah.
Tails is write a letter to his family about what a great hero he is, and then he's asked to like, we need your help. He's like, oh crap, what do I do? Okay, it's Tails. He's dressed like a knight and he has a sword. It's fan fiction. But it's fairly entertaining. In fact, and I would also argue that in the beginning, before pre-Tracy, with the exception of some Spaz artwork, STC had far superior artwork.
See, I do want to talk a little bit about what I would say is classic Archie Sonic. So I'm thinking of issues 0 to 50. And I would say the majority of that is enjoyable. On for
It's-
varying different ways.
I would-
Because so the
I would,
first
I
20.
would actually break that up into the more adventure style comedic
Yes.
issues, and then it gets to more quote unquote serious storylines. I would break
so
those two
you
up.
can so let's say issue 0 to like 20
yeah.
is you can enjoy that
Goofy,
from
dumb fun.
for goofy dumb fun.
I know it's fine. I don't care for it that much, but
Yeah.
it has its charm, it has its place. It's fine.
it's enjoyable,
it's
but it's
inoffensive.
not offensive.
It's inoffensive dumb
Yeah.
fluff, which is goofy and occasionally can be pretty funny.
I mean, yeah, it's
Right.
kind of like dumbed down Sonic Boom.
No, I would say it's dumbed down adventures.
Or okay, dumbed down Adventures. Adventures are pretty dumb.
Adventures were done, but I still think Adventures is funnier and better than that early action stuff is.
TJ.
So dumbed down TJ comic.
Dang.
Oh, Jonathan,
TJ?
Jonathan, I got good news with you, my friend. Breaking news.
What?
I just tweeted Matt Holmes asking if he's going to have any prints of Genesis of a Hero issue 4 variant at Too Many Games. He said yes. And that clap just destroyed our audio.
Okay.
We will get you that. Good sir.
I'm so excited. I
Unless
want
he
that
hasn't.
and the
Well, unless
Freedom
it
Fighters
may even have a Heroes gone.
Wait, Herms?
Oh yeah, he's a Heroes gone, is he?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
What?
Herms isn't gonna be a hero.
Something that would be.
No, he's going to be at Too Many Games.
Yes, I know, but he didn't know that.
Oh, he did know.
So yeah, you were saying.
But yeah, no, I like the Art Mahini art. Like the art for the first 20 issues is pretty consistently like good, cartoony 2D Sonic. I would say that art.
Dave Manick.
Dave
Is that
Manick,
what it
Art
is?
Mazzini is good.
It looks like a simplified version of what you got on Saturday M.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, the colors weren't there because it's flat.
Also,
flat,
it's
you
weird
know.
because like Sonic's like stomach and muzzle were like pinkish
Yeah.
versus yellow, like the typical orangeness.
They were pink in the cartoons. They were pink in the cartoons, weren't they?
Not in Adventures. Maybe
They
because
were totally
maybe
pink. in
maybe because of
at
the
least
darker
Saturday
coloring
Night.
of Saturday M. Maybe.
Pretty sure they were
Yeah.
like flesh tone.
Yeah, I think Set AM had
Yeah.
a little bit more
Pink.
in it.
And then you get like 20 onward. You get some really good. You get some really good, more serious issues.
like Stephen Butler's, or is that?
I
the
think
time,
that's
or was-
closer to the
little later?
60s.
Oh, okay.
I'd say you still had some good quality stuff up until 100.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of started going off the tracks.
Yeah, Dawn's stuff after 100 was still pretty good.
It seems
Isn't
to
it
be
a little pinker?
Seems to be very. I'm looking up pictures on Saturday because I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
And it seems to vary. Like on some pictures it looks more pinkish, and some it looks more yellowish.
Yeah.
I guess it was just depending on who was in charge of color. I think for season 2 they purposely made it yellow
Okay.
because they changed a few things. I think season 1 was slightly on the pinker side, so maybe, but yeah,
Slightly less done.
Yeah.
You know, a little rare.
yeah, a little more time, and then they overcooked Ruta. What they do to him? They ruined Ruta's face.
Rotor just he's burnt.
His voice and face are just what
Like-
happened. Shredder attacked his
Bitter.
throat. He got dead.
But no, I think I still have some really favorite moments from like the first 100. Issue 25
Yeah, I was
is
gonna say
probably
issue
gonna
25.
always be
Mecha Madness.
no, it's the Go Ahead Mecha My Day, I think is what they called it.
Yeah.
It's the Sonic CD
Yeah.
interpretation. It's not word for word, and they take references from Adventures, like the door coming down. Like they take the closing scene from Adventures and put it in. Like it's got some kind of funny jokes. I loved that Robotnik. I love that Robotnik, and I think that was one of the big things that kept me interested in like the first 50 was he loved being bad. He was confident in who he was. he was like, I'm fat and I'm going to have all of my minions tell me I'm fat because I just enjoy like
Lord of Lard.
Lord of Lard. Like I like that. Like I like the idea. My idea of Eggman is he is extremely confident and proud of who he is and what he looks like, and so even if Sonic calls him a name like Eggman, he'll take that. Now Robotnik he couldn't work with.
Well, it was like Moten Knight who designed him for Avengers. Called him the world's sexiest fat man, and he loved everything about himself. Which, so I think we're all very overall, we're very happy with what Archie gave us.
Yeah.
We said it in the past. This won't be the end of Sonic Says. Now that Archie is done, I think what we're gonna try and do. No problem. I think our next episode we're gonna try, and because the World Adventure arc is done, because as far as we're aware, the series may be done. I think it's time we finally bring in Ian Flynn for a talk.
For a trip to
talk.
Oh, why? He gave us some good years.
That's me high-fiving him because he's awesome.
Oh, okay. Didn't look like it. But okay.
And then I think after that something Jonathan and I have been wanting to do for over a year now, and because I will not stop talking about it.
Yeah.
I think
this will give me a chance to talk about STC the way he talks about early Archie.
Exactly. Hey, STC is good.
It's rife with errors and fake news and such.
Why did he turn into John Wayne?
Yeah, varmint.
I have to get extra American to combat
to defend
STC.
the. I say, Reginald, STC is the fastest imperial comic book.
The Archie Sonic's the only Sonic for me.
That was turning into slightly Fred Flintstone.
Hey, boo boo.
So again, I guess really just thank everyone who worked on the book. Obviously big thanks to Ian and Tracy and people like Tyson Hess and Ed Fernandez, our boy Matty Holmes, Conqueror of Colours, Jim Marsh,
Evan
Stanley,
Vince Lavallo,
John
Gray,
Workman,
John Workman,
Jack Loretti, the letterer. I feel so bad.
Yeah, Morelli.
Jack Morelli. Even I will say we've I more than anyone.
Paul Kaminsky.
Yeah, I
Don
more
Bass,
than anyone have kind of
Spaz,
Stephen
Art
Butler.
Mahini.
Again, I more than anyone have probably been the most unkind to his work over the years. But even Terry Austin,
Adam Bryce Thomas,
Adam Bryce Thomas,
Autumn Bryce Thomas,
Van Skelly,
Fall Bryce
Skelly,
Ryan Jampol.
Ryan Jampo,
Gabriel
Peppers,
Casada,
Gabriel Casada,
Ben Bates.
Ben Bates, of course. Again, that Robot Master splash page from Worlds Collide. Not many things are better than that in life.
That's why I love that Genesis. Half the reason I love that Genesis got traded is got a hardcover is because that's the only art of his that's going to be in a hardcover. The epilogue to
Sonic
because
Genesis.
he draws such a great modern Sonic.
I thought Tracy did the epilogue.
He did the prologue, I thought.
No, I'm pretty sure the epilogue was him because I'm pretty sure the epilogue is his when it's that Super Sonic looks very Tracy to me when he's he's holding those wires. He's like, my machine's powered by chaos energy. Or they shouldn't have told me that, Doc. And he's got the things.
Oh, that's still Tracy.
Yeah,
that's part 4. But the epilogue after
gotcha.
Mecha Sally.
Gotcha. Okay.
The Mecha Sally stuff.
For some reason, I thought that stuff was the epilogue. My apologies.
No, the stuff where Eggman's about to shoot him and stab him in the face.
Good stuff. But yes, so I thank you, Archie. Without you, this weird, terrible friendship of us 4 nerds would not be a thing.
Without you, we couldn't make fun of you as a
Exactly.
company.
Without you, we couldn't give you our money and then regret it directly afterwards. But again, Sonic Says will continue. I'm sorry to say that, but we'll be back as soon as we can. Hopefully with Ian Flynn. If we'll either the next issue will either be an Ian Flynn interview or we'll go straight into STC.
Yeah.
But I want to thank everyone who's joined us thus far, and we'll see you again. I've been FTA.
I'm Jono.
I'm T-Bay.
I'm the anti-guardian.
You're so disappointed with that. Why are you...
I hate
You
that
can
name.
change it. T-Bay changed his.
Jonathan came up with one. He didn't used to have one.
Well, I thought maybe I should have one since everyone else does, and it's not even a great one. I could be like the Johninator or the janitor. I don't know, the Janitor.
The anti-Jonathan.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal your thing. I'm gonna be the anti-guardian from now
And then
on.
there's
No.
Jesus. So thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you again another time, maybe, possibly.
Never.